Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. We are live on X, and live over on YouTube. On X, the link will be there. If you do want to come over on YouTube, we do have a lot of regulars in the YouTube comments that you can have a little chat with throughout the show. We also want you to participate. What we do is we look at both teams' form. We do a lineup prediction, and then we do a score prediction. Everybody. So that's what we do. Get involved. We want to see your lineups. We want to see your scores. And we do get an opposition guest panel. It makes it more interesting the night before. And we like to go head to head with our opposition, fan wise, before we go head to head with the players. So do get involved. Paul, I can't believe that I've completely forgot to do the lineups. The man coming on now, Simon, gave me his lineup, and I was thinking I've forgot something, and I've normally already got the lineups written before the show, and I haven't done the lineups.
Well, to be fair, mate, you are up the wall with little baby Jesus arriving in 5 or 6 days. And I don't just mean Christmas, of course.
I like myself off.
So your head is elsewhere. So me and Simon will get you through it, mate. You'll be fine.
We'll try and see what we can do, people. Right, so here we are, the big head-to-head. He's with him on before. We love it. Chelsea fan Simon on the show, everybody. How are we doing, Simon? You all right?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. Very good. Nice to be back on. Good to have a good chat as ever.
Good lad.
You're ready for this big head-to-head in so many different ways. It is a massive head-to-head. I've got a few things to put on the screen to show form, but
yeah,
this is a bit of a weird one for me, so I'm going to jump straight in and say this because I went on a football channel the other day, and I confess that I do want Chelsea to win the league. And I feel that Chelsea are the only team, especially after today, watching how bad Manchester City was. They was awful.
Yeah,
but I do think Chelsea are the only team that can knock the Copites off the top. And I do not want them winning the league. So it's hard for me today because we can't let you win either. Everton do need the points. We do need the win.
Yeah.
So I want you, I'm thinking... I want to beat you, but I want you to win after we play you every other game, apart from Everton.
It's a weird season, Dan. For Chelsea fans are actually cheering on Liverpool because they don't want Arsenal to win the league behind the backs, and I'd never hear that. Like the whole world has been turned on its head, and we're living in some sort of parallel universe. And yeah, I've heard a few people say that. I don't think we're quite there. I'm not just towing the party line about winning it. I just think defensively we're not quite there. We can't win games 1-0 in an ugly way. We beat Bournemouth this season, but we give sloppy goals away. But I have to say the football is tremendously exciting to watch. And that doesn't count for everything, but it does count for quite a lot, I think.
You have got it. You've got to be there. I've watched you a couple of times. You've got to be there. I get what you're saying. Your defence does look fragile.
Just a couple of small examples. Maybe I'm being overly critical, but I've been lucky enough to watch, some really great Chelsea sides over the years. We're winning away at Tottenham 4-2, and then we give a sloppy goal away to make it 4-3. We really put a really good performance in against Brentford, and then give a goal away right at the end, and they hit the bar. We're kind of living on our nerves a little. We find it difficult to see games out, whether that's experience or perhaps being too offensively minded. It's hard to be critical of this side, but for those old enough to remember, I very much like, and I have done all season, to 95-96 Newcastle, where it's just outscored the opposition. I think that's why a lot of people like to watch Chelsea play this season. And I'm not being overly critical, but that is the one chink. Liverpool are very sound defensively. I saw that at Anfield when I went up. We really gave them a tough game. 80 minutes, they went into a low block. And that was all credit to Chelsea, to be fair, but we haven't got that in our locker, I don't think.
No, well, I'll chuck up your form now. Let's have a look. I've written up Chelsea's form and I've written up Everton's form.
Yeah.
And I think we'll already guess that yours is a lot better than ours with the way you are. But let's have a look. See, look how much green you've got. How can you not beat Liverpool this season in the league when you've got that much green wins?
Well, Liverpool, it was a very tight game at Anfield. And Slot was magnanimous to say that, you know, we were the best side that they played against. And we actually really looked like a good footballing side. Sometimes these games 2-1, they're little moments, aren't they? And again, we got ourselves back at Anfield, Dan. We gave a goal away within 5 minutes. We didn't have it in us to see 10 minutes out just to settle the game down again. Those these games are decided by such fine margins, aren't they?
Yeah, I have watched a lot of Chelsea games, and when I watched you against Newcastle, I thought Newcastle played really well against you. I was surprised how good Newcastle was. So I thought it was a really good result for you.
Yeah.
Man United, I was gutted you didn't beat them. I think you should have been better that game.
Yeah.
Looking at Chelsea, Arsenal, that could have gone either way, couldn't it? I think you was probably the better team. I really do.
Yeah.
Leicester was close.
It didn't have
3-0 against Aston Villa is a big result, isn't it? 3-0 against Aston Villa.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Villa game was most pleasing because we kept a clean sheet. But again, Leicester, you know, they could have had a penalty, another penalty after the penalty they had when we're coasting the game. There's this theme that I'm not bemoaning the 3 points. I'm not being precious, but being a seasoned football fan, you start to see patterns developing and evolving where we give cheap goals away when we should be in control of the game.
No, well, you look at scores sometimes and you don't see that. Go on, Paul, sorry.
I'd say the thing is, I mean, Chelsea are doing great. I think most teams would like to play the football Chelsea are playing at the minute. I mean, you're the highest points and highest goals since beginning of May this year. Yeah. So doing a cracking job. And when you've got players like Palmer, obviously, doing what he does, then you can't go too far wrong, to be honest. Were you expecting to win the league this year?
Oh, no. I mean, I thought, Paul, we could challenge for top 4, but again, it was another new manager and another upheaval of players. The core of the players is the same pretty well, but Maresca has done an unbelievable job in discipline, structure. There's an identity. Everyone's buying into it. We've been quite lucky in having the European competition, which is almost like playing friendlies, such as the poor quality of the opposition, but it keeps players playing games, doesn't it? So I would never have imagined it, but your point, not being overly critical, because I'm paying money to watch great football now at Chelsea, and that's what every football fan wants. And it's not just Palmer, you know, Jackson's putting it in, Sancho, Neto, Caicedo, Cucurella. There's a lot of players who are playing at extremely high levels consistently now.
Agreed.
No, I love Neto. I've said it before. I think Neto's fan. I've always wanted him at Everton.
Yeah.
But obviously you got him. Good player. I think Neto's fantastic. For me, you're strong all over the pitch. I think you struggle in defence sometimes. When I've watched Chelsea, I feel that your midfield's starting to connect a little bit now. I never rated Enzo. I didn't think he was that good. And I always thought, he showed in the international, but once you'd signed him, he isn't that good. But I watched him the last 2 games, and he's a bit more technical. And I'm thinking, you can see the Argentina player in him. And I think Caicedo, he looks like he's stepping up. And Latvia as well. Your centre of midfield looks like they're growing. Like they're starting to connect and gel. And I think that's helping you. But your defence still needs to do that. I don't know if you agree with me on that.
Yeah, this is my point actually. And bizarrely, as luck would have it or not, the Lavia Caicedo midfield is key in games like tomorrow's. I feel like they played Tottenham together first half. At Liverpool, they were incredibly impressive, but Lavia is a big doubt for tomorrow. We've got no right back, and I've got a feeling he might put Caicedo at right back again, inverting into midfield, which loses us a lot of steel that we need in a game like tomorrow. So, and I know people will say, bloody hell, Chelsea fan crying about injuries, but you need Lavia and Casado in midfield. Midfield, the places, it's going to be such a hard game tomorrow. It's going to be windy. It's we all know what Goodison's like. It's going to be a battle, and that pairing in midfield is crucial to establish a foothold in the game, I feel.
I just seen Emma in the comments saying weather's crazy. I think it may get cancelled.
It's got a yellow warning. So the 1878. I mean, we've had loads of flag days this season, but they've actually cancelled it for tomorrow's game. 1878 have been told they can't have the flags up. So there's obviously a little bit of that, and I think from Liverpool fans I've spoken to since the derby got cancelled, they were quite happy, not only with, say, Alisson and McAllister being out, but they didn't fancy that swirling wind and us throwing it in the air and everything else. So if tomorrow goes ahead, and it should be fun. It would be interesting to see how Chelsea handle that, because looking at those results, one clean sheet in all of those games, scoring loads, but obviously only 3 this season in the league, 1 in recent times. So there's certainly a defence to be got at there with a swirling wind.
Yeah, I agree. And also we've got Badiashile out, Fofana's out, Cucurella's suspended, Reece James is out. So again, no excuses, but they're looking at putting Caicedo at right back. I think that's what they may do. And he should be like starting in central midfield. So those things sometimes play against you, particularly at a place like Goodison, where, like you say, you know what you're going to get. And the last thing you want to do at Goodison is go a goal down, because Everton know how to see a game out. We don't. I'm not being negative, but first goal in tomorrow's game, I feel, is absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
I did see Casado. I think he played right back against Tottenham, was it? He did play right back, and then second half they took Latvia off because he had a yellow card. They took him off, and then they put Casado in the middle after, I think.
Yeah, they put Gusto on at right back, and it made all the difference. They took it did well though. But I think those little tweaks sometimes it depends on the opposition. I think a home game is very much different to an away game, particularly tomorrow. As I say, it's a really tough venue to play. Everton. It's going to be windy. We always seem to play you sort of this time of the year, and you know what you're going to get. And I'm not just labelling you as Sean Dyche. I've been to Goodison. In fact, can I just show you something here?
Okay.
Here, look at this. Can you see that?
Yeah, I like that. Now, 80s, 70s, late 70s, 80s.
22nd of December 1984. 40 years ago to the day tomorrow was my first trip to Goodison, and we won 4-3. It was our first season back in the first division. Still one of my best ever away experiences, because when you get promoted with a young Chelsea side, you know, Everton and Liverpool, Spurs, there's certain grounds that you go to and don't forget. And winning 4-3 that day, Everton had I look at the players on the pitch now, looking back, and there was some talent on the football pitch that day. But it's always been a difficult place to go to. You know, I think there's a couple of times where we've really rolled Everton over, but it's very rare that we do. Very rare.
Has it got the lineup in that book that you've got?
Yeah.
Who's the Everton lineup?
Well, this is. I've put my glasses on now.
I know, forcing him to put the glasses on. I'm
intrigued
on who. I want to take me back to the Everton. Why he's looking at the Everton lineup, people? I should have done this at the start of the show.
Neville Southall, Gary Stevens, John Bailey, Kevin Ratcliffe, Derek Mountfield, Peter Reid, Trevor Stephen, Andy Gray, Graham Sharp, Paul Bracewell, Kevin Sheedy.
What?
Now,
what a team.
Fan, you know, I wanted Chelsea to win. You know, we were up against it with people like Pat Nevin, Kerry Dixon, Mickey Thomas, all these players that got us out of the second division. But to see your team get pitted against that side, but also beat them, it was 4-3. It was a bonkers game. And I think there's a lovely symmetry to the fact that tomorrow will probably be my last visit to Goodison, literally on the 40th anniversary of my first one. That's just a quirk of football, isn't it?
It always connects.
And
it always does connect.
I'm not saying it's going to be 4-3 tomorrow, far from it. If I knew that, I'd be putting some money on it. But from that moment on, from that time when the old away end was behind the goal, I've always loved going to Goodison Park, always loved going to Goodison Park. But after 40 years, there's been very few easy games there.
No, it's going to be. I think it's going to be. I think you've got that was a strong Everton team that you beat them, but I think you've definitely got the stronger team on paper here. But sometimes the stronger team on paper doesn't matter. So what I was meant to chuck in on the start of the show is, and I can't believe I haven't done this. This is the first time that we have gone live since the damn freaking group have taken over Everton.
Yeah, it is. It's not passed us by.
Oh my days. Finally, Everton have been taken over, and it has been like so stressful. So, I mean, if you think about it, we had 777 partners that could have, that they nearly got the approval, and the Premier League said no, so they could have owned us, and they went into administration straight after. And then you've got the John Textor and Leon. You look at the issues that Leon are having with Textor. We could have had them. We could have been in because whoever owned us, by the way, there is a massive job to have cleared all the debt. So if we would have got those bad owners, we was probably administration championship, probably League Two, probably. So people do not realise how bad it could have been for Everton if we got the wrong owners. Luckily, we've got very wealthy owners that have been able to clear all the debts in the freaking group. Owners that a lot of Everton fans did want, they've cleared all the debt. It still will take time for them to do what they want to do. But to now own the stadium, we own the new stadium, is massive for us. That's a big, massive positive. You want to own the stadium, of course you do. So we've got the stadium now. And I'm really happy with these owners because Roma's a big boy club. They own Roma and they've gone for Everton as well. The People's Club, Roma, a massive club in Italy, and Everton, the People's Club, want to get us back to what we was back in the day, like we was talking about with that amazing team. So we're excited, ain't we, Paul, about this?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. We've had a massive leak in the ship for years, and even though we thought it might get sorted out properly the last time, it didn't. It never really did. And at least now it looked as though they plugged the hole, and we can kind of build on it from there. So effectively, it seems as though that the debt has been wiped out. There's one charge left, which is about security of finances, but it's a standard thing with football teams apparently. But we've still limited. We're still limited. There's limits on PSR and stuff like that. So no Everton fans should be expecting 100 million spent in January and stuff like that.
You didn't hear that space I was on last night. There's Everton fan on the space, and he was like, "We've got 200 million to spend next season, and I want Osimhen up front." And I was like, "Oh my!" I says to him, "PSR isn't gone." He goes, "Nope, I've got a source." I goes, "What is it, ketchup?" He goes, "No, I've got a source." Oh, yeah. And he says 200 million to spend, and Osimhen. I goes, "You probably wouldn't even get Osimhen for 200 million." And I couldn't knock him down because I love positive fans, and if he thinks we can get Osimhen, I'm behind him. But I can't see us getting 200 million. The FFP is still there.
It is.
I do think the new stadium is going to help. Yeah, I do think the new stadium's going to help and take it away.
It's a cracking analogy. To be fair, we are not out of that tunnel by any means. You know, and there's still a decent job to have to do this season. We're fortunate that there's teams below us who are struggling, but you know, we've still got to take care of our end, and we still got to do stuff on the pitch, and we still got to try and get points out of games like tomorrow, like we did against Arsenal. This time we're at home, and in the past, it's it's not been too bad in the past. We lost 2022, but there was a great 2-0 win. I think it was Apilaqueta, wasn't it? Little dodgy back pass and stuff like that. Richarlison pops in and stuff. We had Ferguson's game when he was manager, all that sort of stuff. I was there that day. That's cracking. Thank God it's not away, because obviously we got hammered 6-0 in April. So we've got half a chance just because of the fans, if anything, just because of the fans, and maybe the wind. That'll help.
But just a quick point regarding your ownership from my point of view. Number one, it's all about stability, because whatever people say, football is big business, and players and the manager do have are affected by all that instability. And no denying that. So that's a first point: is if you just got a new owner and it's done, then it's the drama's over. But the second thing is you've obviously got this new ground as well, and don't underplay the value that has, not for 1 second as well. Chelsea are struggling with their ground because of where it is, the layout, what do they spend and how do they do it, yada yada. And whilst match day attendance is really pale into significance when it comes to TV revenue, not like when 40 years ago, but you've got that, and I assume it's going to be ready from the first ball kicked of next season. But if you've got, that's a huge step forward for the football club as well.
Oh, it's huge, and if anything, it's sort of been a light at the end of that tunnel that Blues is talking about, because as soon as we realised that it was definite and it was definitely going to happen, our attention on the pitch was just let's stay up, and thankfully, so far we've managed it, but we're still clambering there. It's just that this has been a little bit of another foot up, if you like. Which will definitely help. Danny's floating around. I'll move us on though, Simon. I'll just mention about lineup builder. What is your team likely to be? And I'll get that on the screen for us.
Okay. Well, I'm sort of Sanchez in goal. There's no doubt about that.
Is this the formation that we're looking at?
Yeah.
So.
That's, you got the job. So
I'm in.
I'm going to go Sanchez in goal. I'm going to assume that Lavia's fit, so I'm going to put Caicedo at right back. This could be horribly wrong, of course. I'm going to put Tosin at centre half. Alongside Colwill.
Hang on a second.
That's okay, mate.
Still starting trying to spell Calcedo.
Just put Moises.
Like that.
Just put Moises. It's easier.
Oh yeah. There he is. Cheeky soul. There we go. Who are you having at left back?
Left back, I'm putting Gusto.
Don't know a lot about him. He's decent. Is he attacking? I presume.
Yeah, but he's a right back.
Right, okay.
I would have put.
If your dog wants to go to the toilet, do not ignore it, because I heard that, and I knew if I didn't take her, then I was in big trouble. I was going to have a wee on the floor, so I had to go and get her out of the ass. You know what I mean?
I would have put Vega first. He played midweek, so I'm going on the premise that he won't play Vega at left back. So we've got Tosin at centre half, Tosin. I can't spell his first name.
It's all right.
I can't even say his first name. And then Colwill.
A lad who we tried to get.
Yeah.
Back when he was coming from Huddersfield, wasn't it, I think?
I'm going to put Enzo Fernandez in.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Lavia in. I'm going to take a gamble that he's going to be fit, which I don't think he will be. So this could all go up in smoke, as most of my predictions do.
Really? Do you know what? When he played for Southampton, I didn't know much about him, and I watched him the other day when he come off. Well, he played the first half. He got a yellow card and he come off. And that first half that he played, he was under pressure. He was so calm. And when you took him off because he was on a yellow card, the second half he wasn't as good. And I didn't. He was really good, really, really good.
He and Casado, when we played Liverpool, Boston midfield, it was incredibly impressive. That's what we've been waiting for. So, in number 10 role, you want to call it, we've got to put Palmer. This for me.
You're as cold as ice. Sorry,
he's insane.
Man City must be kicking themselves.
Yeah.
What did Pep do? What did Pep do there?
Well, the thing about City, living in Sutton Coldfield, big villa area, Grealish went there, and I thought that it would destroy his career because whatever you say about City, they're a system-driven team. Palmer wouldn't have had the freedom to play like he does at Chelsea at City. That's my opinion, anyway.
You're right, because I was watching Manchester City today, and I was just watching Haaland, and I thought, Pep's killing Haaland with his tactics. Sometimes just get the ball into Haaland. Like, they try and work it into, or they try and get it into him. Like where they put it perfect across the box so it's a tapping. And I just think to myself sometimes, put him one-on-one, loft it up to him, like we used to with Lukaku, put him one-on-one with the centre-back. He'll beat most centre-backs one-on-one, so let him have the battle. But I watch Haaland and he doesn't even have the battle. Most of the game, he just doesn't get used, and I can't believe it. And I think they want the perfect goal. I think Chelsea used to play like this a little bit when you had other managers where you try and pass and get the perfect goal, and Jackson was a bit isolated. But now I think you can play different styles, whatever you need to play. I don't know if you agree.
No, I think you're right. But Chelsea are the best team, I think, in playing in between the lines in tight spaces. Part of it is Palmer, but Enzo's coming out that way. But you mentioned Lavia and Casado. They're very, very good with the ball in tight spaces, which is what you need. Right on the right, I'd put Neto. Pedro Neto.
See, the Blues agrees with us. Blue says it's actually criminal how little Haaland gets passed to. I agree with you. I can't believe it. He's the talent wasted.
But you put a couple of players around him and you crowd him out. Very difficult. Left wing, I'm going to put Sancho, Jadon Sancho.
He's been decent for you, hasn't he? I knew there was a player in him. Man United killed him and you've revived him.
We've got again a bargain there for 25 million if the option to buy goes through.
Comeback story, that comeback story.
Yeah, Jackson. It just shows you managers and players, isn't it? You've got to have the right manager for the right player, haven't you? And Jackson up front. Still, Chelsea fans and a lot of people go on about getting another striker, but he, just for reference, has scored more non-penalty goals than Salah in the last year. So sometimes you need to look at the number. Anyway, I think, broadly speaking, left back, right back, centre mid are the three that I'm kind of guessing at. And Lavia, I'm not really too sure. And I'd rather see Lavia and Casado in there. But the front four are pretty well nailed on, I think.
Well, I think you're going to have most of the ball, to be fair, tomorrow. I can't see us winning anywhere near in possession. So it's. I think if you've got makeshift players, players in makeshift positions and stuff like that, it's about whether they'll actually be tested or not. Because obviously we don't tend to push the opposition very much, especially when it's sort of one of the better sides in the league. So they might not be tested enough for it to be a problem. Hopefully we do, and we get on the pitch a bit more. But obviously that might be a section where they can get away with it.
That will suit you. And again, with the inexperience, any free kick just over the halfway line is a good opportunity for Everton. I'm not saying it's just route one, but again, the inexperience shows sometimes. We do give silly free kicks away. Hostile atmosphere tomorrow, so it's a test, really. You've got to stand up and be counted tomorrow, and you've got to keep a cool head, and you've got to make sure that You don't get suckered in any shape or form. And I keep referring to that atmosphere all the time. It's a proper old school ground, isn't it? And you know what you're going to get. But it's one thing knowing what you get, and it's another thing learning how to cope with it.
We haven't. Do you know what though? We haven't been what we last game against Arsenal. It was what you would say you would probably expect from Sean Dyche, being able to see out a game and tight in defence. But some games we've been. I mean, if you think about us against Bournemouth, it was 2-0 up 84th minute, and you say we can defend out a game. We conceded three goals after 84th minute to lose 3-2. Aston Villa was 2-0 up in 20-30 minutes, and we ended up losing 3-0 against 3-2 against Aston Villa after being 2-0 up. So the Everton that we thought we wasn't last season, the resilient one that could see out a win if we got the lead, we wasn't. We've seen that Everton against Arsenal. We seem to have found that hopefully again, Simon. But it's
great. Those games were both bizarre, and for them to be in such close proximity was almost absurd. But since then, I've just checked your results out. You've been very consistent.
Let's put them on the screen. I think I can add it, and then Paul's will stay, I think. But that's our results. We've been picking up. There's a lot of orange. A lot of draws. A lot of orange.
But you know what as well? You know what as well, though? You wouldn't think it, but since start of October, we've actually got most clean sheets in the top leagues across Europe.
I saw that.
Yeah, bizarre. Really is bizarre. But good job as well. Otherwise, we'd be stuffed. We'd be absolutely stuffed.
We're still near the bottom of the league, ain't we? So if you think about it, that we're picking up form, it was vital that we did start picking up form, still being only just above the drop zone. It was massive that we did start picking up. But yeah, it's better. We've got a win there and a draw. So hopefully we can actually pluck a couple of results together if we can get something from this Chelsea game.
Emma says that's horrific.
Colourful.
Yeah. Well, better than a loss, eh? Better than a loss.
Yeah. So that is. Yeah. I was just going to say that is your lineup. If what would you? We'll chuck our lineup on after, and then we'll get the lineups in the comments. What would you say is your weakness that you're scared we could hurt, and what would you say is your strength that you think you could hurt us with?
Would be not having Caicedo in midfield instead of Enzo. If Caicedo and Lavia were both 100% fit, Enzo wouldn't get near the team tomorrow for me. I know he's been playing well, but I don't think this is the sort of game where he'd start. And I think that's my concern in midfield. I think Gusto can do okay at left back. Caicedo can play almost anywhere in the pitch. He's a bit like a cheat code at the moment, but it's still not his strongest position. So that whole defence midfield is one that concerns me. The plus point is the four players up front. That's standout for me. So it's a bizarre team in some ways. I'm saying I'm concerned in certain areas, and I have huge confidence in the attacking part of the team. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, I suppose.
I like that you don't let yourself get too high, though. You're keeping yourself grounded. If I was you right now, and I've seen the Blues say for Liverpool to not win the league, it will take Salah to get a career-ending injury or Van Dijk to get No, I don't think so. I mean, they drew against Newcastle. They then drew again, which they should have got beat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They really should have got beat then. And they got away without playing us in the derby. We would have 100% beat them. Paul was going. He was ready for it. We would have beat them in the derby. And they're dropping points. They are dropping points. You keep winning, as I put up. You keep winning. You drop 2 points if you draw. They drop 2 points. They drop 2 points. And if they do, they ain't winning. So if they do start losing, I think they only need to lose 1 or 2 games, and Chelsea are about level on points, ain't they?
I think also it's that March time. I know it sounds like a cliche, guys, but Liverpool are going to be involved in hard Champions League games. You know, we're going to be playing conference teams who we could arguably still not play half the first team. And I think that is when you can pick up injuries, suspensions, etc., and form can go out the window in that time. And I think that is the one advantage that Chelsea have over Arsenal and Liverpool is that their run of games in that crucial period, as long as they stay in touch, they will have a big advantage, I feel.
No, I agree with you. Should we chuck our lineup on then, Paul? Let's have a little fight over this. I mean, I know exactly what my lineup would be. Get your lineups in the comments. We'll put them on the screen after our lineup, and then we finish with score prediction. That's when we go proper head-to-head on the Toffee Bluecast with the Chelsea fan on the show. But let's try and agree on this, Paul.
Yeah, well, no differences really in the formations that we start with, although our you have a front four, we barely have a front one generally. So expect us to be 5 across the middle instead of the 2 exactly. JP,
Simon, we're gutted because we have like a super Albanian in the know fan on who's obsessed with Armando Broja.
Yeah.
I thought it was Broja, but he's told us it's Broja or Broja. He really did rate him when he come to us, and he got us really excited about him. And we've got him fit, and he's come on 10 minutes of one game and 10 minutes of the other, and he looks like he could be exactly what we need. Sometimes it takes a player to click at a club, like you've just said with Sancho. Sancho's shocking at Man United, goes to Chelsea and looks twice the player. And the way that we play, we're crying out for a striker that's like what Lukaku used to be. I'm not comparing to Lukaku. I'm just saying we're crying out for a centre forward that can handle himself.
Yeah.
And he looks good, you know. We're gutted. Yeah. We can't play him in this game because he does look like a proper player, and we've got him fit.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He works the channels well. But I think also he will probably feel less pressure at Everton, because when you're playing at Chelsea, you're mixing it with players who are with all due respect, on a different level, if you follow my logic. And I think he knows his value is at Everton. And I think he used to try too hard at Chelsea. I might have said that to you before. I just felt that he was just trying too hard. I'd imagine at Everton he's playing more of his natural game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. He does look. He bossed the Arsenal centre backs when he come on.
Yeah.
Early days. I have been told to calm down. I'm not allowed to get too excited about him, but I do give it back and say you've got to give the player the best chance. So getting excited about him, you've got
without hope,
gentlemen. Yeah, exactly. Right, Paul. Let's do this then. So we go Mikalenko left back.
You'd think, yeah.
You said same back four, didn't you? So I did do a song on James Tarkowski. I don't know whether you've seen it, people, in the comments.
It's good.
But James Tarkowski said to Still Ryan, one of the Everton podcasters, he said, I'd love an Everton song. And I did make a Tarkowski song, and I think it is amazing. And I know some people will be too boring and say, no, it's crap. But if you actually do sing it, if you actually allow yourself to not be miserable and sing that Tarkowski song, it's good. I like it.
It is.
Right.
Give yourself a bit of credit. I'd say
Thanks,
so.
Mate.
I'd say so. That's all right.
Yeah, our back line, they've gone through the motions. They've looked edgy the last 2 games. They didn't look good first half of Arsenal, but they looked really good the second half. Yeah. So I think that could be the click for this game.
Adam earlier on was asking whether we think Pato would play. I don't think there'll be any changes at right back for the foreseeable, as long as Young's got 2 legs, and maybe not even then. So,
to be fair, he's been fantastic, hasn't he, Paul?
He's been very good. Credit's where credit due, and all that. So, yeah,
he hasn't made a mistake.
He's made sure that back four is not likely to change. Not likely to change. And hopefully doesn't change, because we've not really got a lot of cover, I don't think. So
Man United battled down that side. I think it's Sancho left wing for them against Ashley Young.
Yeah.
Bit of a Man United battle there.
That's true.
Garner
Gay, yeah, he's always there, isn't he? A good thing that I will point out is that sometimes against big teams like Chelsea, it's good to have experienced players, and you don't want players that are going to get scared of the big games. And Garner Gay playing for PSG, he's been around the block. He's played with frigging Mbappe and all that lot, and Messi. And then you've got Ashley Young, who's won the league with Inter and played with a lot of big players as well. If they don't want to curse, they've got experience and them not show it this game, but we have got a bit of experience there. Tarkowski has got experience as well. Not so as good with Burnley, but he has got the experience, hasn't he? So we've got a bit of free experience and then too young there, Paul. It's not a bad combo.
No, it's not too bad. And you do need younger players coming through. And that was a good thing that the Friedkin group mentioned as well. That they'd sort of be looking to bring young players through and stuff like that, which makes common sense and business sense, to be honest. But anyway, Ghana game, middle diddle. The last couple of games, McNeil's not sort of... Decore's been playing, hasn't he? Mangala
McNeil's not available this one, Paul, I don't think.
Isn't he doubtful?
Is he not? No, he's questionable. He's questionable with the knee, isn't he?
Yeah.
So if that's going to be the case, then you would think Mangala and Decore.
To be fair, I would go Mangala and Decore no matter what against a team like Chelsea, because it worked against Arsenal. And I said it on the pre-match. A lot of people are I think Element and Jai's best position is the number 10. But I think because we're not a fully strength team at the minute and we are weak in areas, we can't play Njai in the 10. He's more effective on the left wing. And Decore, the reason I say this is because Garner Gay and Mangala in the centre of midfield need Decore as that third man sometimes. They need his defensive work, especially against Chelsea. You'll often see that as a free in midfield, won't you, Paul?
Yeah, and if Chelsea have got one or two inconsistencies and who's going to play right back, then Njai being on that left hand side just makes sense. Hell of a dribbler. If he doesn't get past, if it is Calcedo who plays there, he doesn't even have to get past him. He get brought down, and then we get set pieces from it. It's stuff like that, really, isn't it? So Njai left, I presume.
Yeah, but Njai's defensive work, because Chelsea are really good on the wings. Our left winger and our right winger going to have to be good defensively. And Njai was fantastic on Saka last game, so he'll need to be good again.
Yeah. Right hand side, it's always a toss up now, isn't it, between Harrison and Lindstrom?
Both shit, ain't they? Not in a harsh way. I don't like to say anyone's shit, but they are.
Yeah, there was a stat thrown around X.
I've seen that
over the last couple of days about Lindstrom not scoring for 60 games, which I thought the stat was a bit unfair because obviously he's scored in pre-season for us, and in the games before he came to us, it was very bit part and substitutions and stuff like that. So not the kindest sort of stat that they could come up with. But I would still have Lindstrom against than Harrison. I think Lindstrom can defend as well as Harrison, and I think he pushes forward as well. If we were on a break, who would you want with the ball on the right-hand side? If we were breaking away, would you want Harrison or would you want Lindstrom?
Harrison just runs into players at the minute. And I did put a tweet out on X saying, come on, Harrison, this is your big chance against Arsenal. He was just so bad. He looks like he's little and skillful, but if you're little and skillful and you run straight into players, it's ineffective. And that's what Harrison's doing, where Lindstrom looks like he'll actually go round. I'm with you on Lindstrom. Imagine if we had Neto right wing, the difference that would make if we stole Neto from Chelsea, got him in the wrong changing room. So when Neto comes to Goodison Park, he might be a bit dopey. Get him an Everton kit on and get him playing on that side, Paul.
Yeah, I think if you're a younger player at Everton and you're playing on that right hand side, the time is now to push yourself forward. I know we've got a couple of decent wingers in the younger sides and stuff. If obviously Lindstrom's on a loan, Jack's on a loan, so there's no guarantee that either of them would be kept on. Ashley's on a 1-year contract, hitting 100 years old. You've got Coleman on a 1-year contract, hitting 99 years old. So anyone on that right hand side who's in those under 23s or vying for a move to Everton, it's primed, it's there, ready. So it's up to these lads to try and get themselves another deal or to get themselves a permanent.
So Lindstrom, me and Paul have given you a chance here. Step it up, don't let us down. This is the biggie jiggy, isn't it? This is the biggie jiggy, the striker position.
Well, it's a choice of two now, isn't it? I still think that it goes, and it's definitely in Sean's head, it goes DCL. I think it now goes Brozier, and then it goes Beto. I think they're your three. With Brozier out of the equation, it's DCL and Beto, and I just think he would give it DCL, to be honest. I just can't see.
I mean, Everton fans, I don't know whether you've seen on X, but it's up in the air with Calvert-Lewin at the minute because we've offered him a contract. He thinks he's the big I am and wants 100. And his contract ends at the end of this season.
Yeah,
he thinks he's the big I am and wants 150,000 a week. It's probably nothing to a Chelsea fan, but he wants 150,000 a week.
Well, you say that. Here's an interesting fact. You know about these long contracts that Chelsea players are on. When we played Man United, our front four of Jackson, Sancho, Palmer, and Madueke, between them are on less money than Rashford.
Because they've been clever with the long contracts, then.
Let the contract guarantee the money. It's very clever, very high risk, but very clever.
It is clever if you do it like that. They seem to have Chelsea have got all the players in to last them about 10 years now, I think, how many players you've got. So,
high risk, high reward, though. It's because if the players don't look out, then you're screwed.
They do look like they're coming into form now. But Calvert-Lewin, I think a lot of there's talk that he might go in January. He's been linked to Italy teams and stuff like that, but I think he's going to freaking be a shitbag and go for no money at all and wait till the end of his contract and go for a big wage to suit him and not us, which will be frustrating. So on that note, Paul, I don't want to play him if he's going to bugger us over. I want to say, if you're not going to give us a bit of money to help us with our financial situation, I don't want to play you, but he is going to start, isn't
he? He will.
It's interesting, Paul, that you said, though, like, soon as Brozier has come in, it's like Beto isn't there, which would have probably hurt Beto, the fact that he was second choice and all of a sudden he hasn't got that second choice anymore. So it probably would have hurt him. I can see him going in January if that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, I can, come the 70-minute mark, I wouldn't want to be a Chelsea centre-back because you've got a hungry Beto coming on. And he's all arms and legs. And we always say a centre-back gets injured when Beto comes on. So it could easily happen. It could easily happen.
Be the big man in the game.
How much of a miss?
That's our lineup, Paul.
How much of a miss is Onana for you?
No. I'll tell you why. It's because he's injured at the moment. But Robinson, who we got from Villa when we did a swap with who's our lad that went the other way. Dobbin went to Villa in a sort of a 10 million swap or whatever it was. Robinson is quality, I think, done really well. He's just got a bit of a long-term injury at the moment, which is keeping him out. But I don't think we missed Onana at all. If anything, I thought we were able to bring the ball forward a lot easier.
I'm going to make a statement here. I think Mangala, the other Belgian international, who we've only got on loan, by the way, but I think Mangala is better than Onana. And you've probably seen today Onana going to the Villa fans, fist pumping and stuff like that, and Aston Villa getting Manchester City was crap, by the way. Aston Villa getting a result and Onana looking like the hero. When I watched that game, Onana didn't do much. He ghosted a lot of that. He moved the ball on bits and bobs. He didn't do nothing spectacular. And everyone will say he's good because Aston Villa beat Manchester City. But don't forget the game before that I watched against Nottingham Forest where Onana come on and they got absolutely smashed and Nottingham Forest come back and beat Aston Villa while Onana was on. And Onana, a player just run straight through Onana, through the centre of midfield. People forget, don't they? It's like I watched Onana come on and he was a massive reason that Nottingham Forest beat Aston Villa. He was a massive reason, Onana was. He come on. He's meant to be this really good defensive midfielder, but yet Nottingham Forest banged 2 goals in and beat Aston Villa 2-1 when he come on. So I don't know.
But he's a big cheerleader, is Onana, though. You know what I mean? He could do nothing for 90 minutes, but he'll be on Match of the Day swinging his arms to the fans, and people will see that. You know.
Yeah, Villa being a local side, but also he lives on our road. So
say hello from us.
Onana isn't a player who's a shield like Casado. I don't think he was even that much of a shield. Honestly, I have never seen Manchester City so bad. That game was just so. When I watch Foden, it's like, do you know when you watch Pep in the press conferences and he's scratching himself? He looks drained, and it feels like his drainedness he's put into the players, and they look drained because it looks like he's drained all the life out of the players. Because Foden last season against us he was like Palmer. He was on par with Palmer. He was like him, and Palmer was the same.
Yeah,
and Foden looks like a championship player under Pep at the minute. Pep is getting the worst out of Grealish even as well. Pep is getting the worst out of all those players. So I just don't think Manchester City was that good that game. But that was that game. And I want Chelsea to win the league. It's on Chelsea now. But I'm not letting you win this game. I am not letting you win this game.
No pressure.
What lineups have we got, Paul? What lineups have we got in the comments? And then we'll do the biggie, the score predictions.
Yeah, we got some in. Let me just see.
Let's get the lineups in the comments.
Nick was just fine, and Nick was saying he go Anjai left and Armstrong right. Armstrong's a decent one. 10, Lindstrom in the 10. If McNeil's out, you think Dom will sign as well. There's loads of comment. I'm just going back for the lineups, but it's really good to see people's lineups. Here's Blues. You read that one out while I find one or two of the others.
The Blues. He knows his stuff. He always tells me what's what. If I spelt anything wrong, the Blues will correct it. When I actually write stuff up for the channel, I know the Blues. I think to myself when I write it up, if I get it wrong, stats or anything, the Blues would have me. And he's gone for Pickford, Ashley Young. Ashley Young's really good at the minute. Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Mikolenko, who we're unsure about. He needs to prove himself again. He was good against Arsenal. Lindstrom, he's gone for on the right. Gone again, Mangala, Decore, and Jai. It's exactly the same as us. If the Blues is agreeing with us, Paul, Chelsea could be in trouble. If he's agreeing with us, they could be in trouble. We might have found a combination here.
God, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
I missed you last. Paul wasn't here on the pre-match. He was Christmas partying, getting bevied up. He was like Johnny Travolta dancing away and stuff. And
I was.
Emma does emojis for a lineup. So for a lineup, she does emojis as players, and I felt so much pressure. She said I did it crap, Paul.
Did you not get it right? I mean, there's some that you can't.
That was good. She said I got 2 wrong, Paul. I got 2 wrong, and I thought I did really good, proud of myself. And I was like, and then I went off the lineup after zooming in to look what it was, and I looked in the comments to see whether Emma was like, "Yeah, you're good," and then she goes, "No, you was crap." I was like, "Oh."
Is pause.
My team with my choices. Pick O'Brien. I'd love to see him. This is why I want Dyche gone a little bit. He's not trying these players. O'Brien, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Young. Right. Oh, so he's going 3 centre-backs, isn't he, Paul?
Sorry, I've lost that. I was just for a dig at you. That's what it was.
I know. Chuck the dig on straight away. You're supposed to protect your freaking people on the channel, not just call them out. So he's gone for O'Brien, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, the 3 centre-backs, which I would love to see, but Dyche would never do it. He's gone for Young, right wing-back, Mikolenko, left wing-back, Mangala, centre-mid, Ghana Gay, centre-mid, and Jai in the 10. Lindstrom on the right, and then he's gone for DCL up top. I don't mind that. I do like a bit of difference, but I just don't trust that Sean Dyche would do it.
No, he won't do it. He just wouldn't do it.
Even the pause knows
it at all. At all. I'm not even sure that gets us to the halfway line. So yeah, he definitely would. I tell you what, he definitely wouldn't do. He definitely wouldn't start O'Brien.
No, he doesn't
whatever
like
beef,
it.
Whatever the beef is, you know. Here we go. Here's Ems.
Yeah, let's go on then, Paul. I've got you today, so let's smash it straight away. You're right. So Pickford's the peach. He's got the peachy ball.
Young in the wheelchair.
Yeah. The trophy is Tarkowski's ears. She told me that
what
last
it
time.
is? I always.
It's Tarkowski's ears. She said. I didn't know that. The trophy, because he's got big ears. It's Tarkowski's ears.
And
I get called Tarkowski as well, but I ain't got big ears. Right.
No, I have, but I shove them back as much as I can.
Yeah.
Branthwaite is the goat. And Mikolenko, because he's always getting a head injury. We then got we've then got Lindstorm is the cloud, I would imagine. We've got Mangala.
I didn't get the Mangala. Explain to me, how does the person and the apple mean Mangala? Is that a thing?
A gala apple. You need more apple knowledge.
Yeah. I didn't get that. She really did grill me on that one. I didn't get that. Mangala. Yes. Yeah. So that's what you put your head in the apple. So that's what you get the apple out of the bowls with? No.
No, shut up. We've got Garnegay then with his pride flag, and we've got Ndai on the left hand side. She's got McNeil starting in that 10 spot.
You never know with Di. She loves him, doesn't he?
And then behind DCL with his hand on his head as normal, with after a 1-to-1, 1v1 rather. So that's what our guys think. So not massive differences in terms of the players we should use. The odd shout for Armstrong or the odd shout for McNeil to start if at all possible. But like one or two people said in the comments as well, you've got Chelsea tomorrow. You've got Man City away Boxing Day. You've got Forest on the 29th. You know, you've got Bournemouth, I think, away just after the New Year. So it's bam, 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 game after game. There's going to have to be a little bit of manoeuvrability, I think, a little bit of swapping and changing, as most teams will do. They'll have to.
Well, I've been told by Rodian, the Albanian, that Broet is going to play against Manchester City and score 2 goals. So we are going to mix it up. He's promised me. Right, so we've done the lineups. Thank you, everyone, for putting your lineups in the comments. When we go live, we do like loads of people in the comments because it feels like it's all worth it, as L'Oreal says. So please do get your comments in. When we come off, if you haven't hit that like, I won't be happy. I'll track you down, I'll hunt you, and I'll find out who hasn't liked it. So please hit the like on the channel, because what it does on YouTube is if it gets liked a lot, it'll bump into more Everton fans. We could get more Everton fans in the comments, and that's what we want to do, get as many as we can in the comments, and even Chelsea fans, because we always get an opposition fan on. I mean, I want Chelsea fans in the comments because I think we're going to smash them.
We've got a few tonight.
Love it.
It's been good.
Right. So here we go then, Paul. Let's get big. It's going to be really interesting on this, because let's not beat around the bush. Chelsea are dog's bollocks at the minute, ain't they? They are decent. And I know frigging Simon's playing it down. He just don't want to get carried away. But even him deep down knows that Chelsea have got a bit about him at the minute. So, right.
Cool, though, isn't he? He'll be chilled up there.
Wasn't even the right tune. Got a tune over here?
No,
need a right tune for a score prediction, don't we? What have we got here? New one.
Need a bit of stronger one, don't you? Bang this drum, Dan.
Right, here we go, people. There is no tunes for this score prediction because even the songs are scared. We do get an opposition fan on because this is where we fall out at the end. Good. We're nice to each other throughout the show, but I can see you've got the Usyk and the Fury later on. I can see punches going down before that even happens tonight on the Toffee Blue cast, because Simon, he's going to come out of here. I think Paul, he's going to throw a big one at us. Just what order should we go? So we'll go Paul first, then Simon with his score prediction, and I'll go last. I'll go on the last round stuff. Paul, what have you got? We want your score prediction and your goal scorers. Get it in the comments, people. Score prediction and your goal scorers. You love this part.
Oh, I do. I love it, yeah.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
A lot. Well, you know what sort of Simon talking about his trip to Goodison 40 years ago and everything else. There's been some belters at Goodison over previous seasons. Lukaku in the cup, cup quarter final. Remember that one? That was a classic, especially the second goal. You've got Ferguson's managerial stint. That was amazing. That was so good. And I know it's sort of swung both ways and everything, but there's something about Everton at home against Chelsea that brings up a bit of a classic. And I think, you know what? I'm positive. Maybe it's the money coming in this week. Maybe it's just looking at a bit of stability. But yeah, I'm actually going to say 1-0. I think we'll win.
1-0. The freaking group have got Paul's tail waggling. Right. What's your goal scorer?
Oh, someone really, really random.
Pickford.
But it's funny you say that. I can't actually find it. Emma did say that Pickford would get 3 assists tomorrow.
I'll take it.
Basically because of the wind. It'll be something bizarre. It'll probably be like a floaty cross gone straight in or something like that, or like a Son corner,
like the Son goal. Yeah, Son
corner in because of the wind blowing into Gladys Street. So I will say, God, I don't want to say Young, but I might say Young. No, you know what, Young? It's that bizarre.
Ashley Young.
It's that bizarre. Ashley Young is going to score, and we are going to win 1-0.
That is so specific that it actually makes me think it could happen. So Paul is a 1-0 with an Ashley Young belter. It's got to be a belter if it's an Ashley Young goal. So that's Paul's prediction, everybody. Right, let's put it on Simon, the Chelsea fan. What is he going to give us on the Toffee Bluecast? Don't hold back, Simon. Give it to us.
Promise I will not. I'll go heart and head, but you've got to go with my heart. So my head kind of says 0-0, but I'm not going for that. It's a bit like a quiz show, isn't it? This is what you could have won. Go for, and I can be very specific here. I've not had a premonition. I've not been drinking. I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. I'm going to go Neto, first goal scorer in the first half. Palmer in the second half. Then Everton. You've been digging Calvert-Lewin out. Calvert-Lewin will score with 10 minutes to go. And I will have seizures as I normally do, seeing whilst Everton pepper the Chelsea goal like the Alamo. There we go. I can't be any more specific than that, can I?
Well, I don't like Simon's art. I'd rather him go with his head. But yeah, he's gone for either a 0-0 or a 2-1. Very specific as well. So both of them could happen. I mean, if we're giving it that large at the end of the game, we've got to get 2-2, Simon. Come on. You know what I mean? I want you to have the full season, mate, at the end. But no, so he's gone for 2-1. After he's gone 2-1. That is his score. Palmer, Neto. And he's gone for Calvert-Lewin just to make Everton fans probably think he should stay and we should give him the contract. My prediction is, I always don't even think about it. I probably should. I'm going to go for 3-2 Everton. I'm going to go. It's not the thriller that you had back in the day at your first time at Goodison. It's not the 4-3, but I am going to go the 3-2. I was going to say your score, but the opposite way around. But no, I'm going to go 3-2 because I don't think we can score bloody 4. So 3-2. My goal scorers, I've set myself up for 5 here, but I know the Chelsea players. I like a few. So I'm going to go for Neto. And I'm also going to go for Jackson. Jackson's a little shitbag, isn't he? He just finds goals at the minute. He's in real form, Jackson is. I was going to give it Palmer, but I'm giving it Jackson because I know Jackson just pops up. So Jackson and Neto are the 2 goal scorers for Chelsea. Now, the Everton goal scorers, I'm telling you now, he hasn't been his full self, but Skillyman and Jai is going to turn up this game. It's a game for a skillful player. This is against Chelsea. When you come up against big players like the Chelsea team, I think Skillyman and Jai that's skillful might say, I've got a bit here. I'm bringing it to you. So I'm going to go Skillyman and Jai to score. He's a player. Then I'm going to go for Mangala to score a random one. Sometimes a centre midfield always pops up that you don't expect, like Casado does for you and scores. So I'm going to go Mangala to pop up as a random one. And then I'm going to go specific like you here. I'm going to go Jared Branthwaite to score the winner. Rise like a salmon to bring back the Tim Cahill. Rise like a salmon above all these Chelsea defenders that aren't the best defenders because they've got a few out. Jared Branthwaite, score the winner. Celebrate 3-2 Everton. And then you need to start winning after we beat you because we need you to win the league. So don't let this affect you. Confidence.
Okay.
Back on track.
No pressure.
Right.
We got loads of predictions in.
Good.
Starting off, actually, Proper's been in tonight, so he's a Chelsea fan. So thanks for throwing a few in. I like your van in the picture, by the way. Cracking van. He's gone 3-1 Chelsea. We've not got the goal scorers, but he might just pop those in while we have
get
it
in proper, mate. Do it proper and get your goal scorers in. We have.
Paul says 4-1. Osimhen hat-trick.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe it when he's like, we've got like 200 spend. I want Osimhen. I was thinking, you ain't getting much for 200 if you get Osimhen. Oh my days! I love it though. I can't knock it. If you're a believer, I like our Everton fans that are believers than the ones that are miserable. Right? The miserable ones drain me. The ones that are the believers, come on, I'm behind that. You've got to wish for the best. Right, what have we got? Emma
says 2-1. That's NGI and Tarkovsky. For us.
Do you know what though?
Farmer for them.
I should have, after spending 45 minutes to an hour writing the Tarkovsky song, I should have given Tarkovsky a goal. Because in all the pictures that I did in the Tarkovsky in the song, it was him scoring it. What an idiot. What a plonker. I can't change it. But if he scores, that song's coming out. Well done, Emma, for putting him in.
Nick's gone 2-2 DCL and Branthwaite, Jackson and Neto. And he's a boxing fan as well, so he reckons Usyk tonight.
Oh, it's a biggie. Big fight, that, isn't it?
It is, actually. Where we go. I think Prosper's thinking Palmer hat-trick again, because obviously Palmer scored.
He was good against
us. 3 or 4 in April. Scored 4, didn't he, sod?
Did you see Simon then? Did he score 3 or 4? Simon was like, oh in 1 second.
I was going to make sure we
do. We've got him. I mean, we've got our resident, the Blues, who always brings us back down to earth. He thinks Chelsea 2-0. So Palmer and Jackson. And
I guess that's why they call him the Blues.
Exactly, yeah. I prefer Lulu.
We do say give us the truth, yeah.
Yeah, Emma says that Everton will win 3-0 and Pickford will score. Why not?
Fight with all of your might for the boys in the Royal Blue jersey.
At least an assist. Let it swirl. Let that wind swirl. Adam's saying 1-0 there as well. Pause does think 3-1 Chelsea with a Palmer hat-trick and Branthwaite for us. We're nothing if not realistic anyway. And think that is all she wrote.
If we beat Chelsea, we'll pull clear of the bottom of the table. Yeah, it would be a cracking result, wouldn't it? And I think you should try and win every game, no matter what opposition, because anybody can beat anybody. And I hate to say this, Chelsea is a bit of a free hit, because if you lost against them, you'd say fair enough, they've got a real good team. But if you did get a win against these, what a win that would be! It sets you up for the so-called weaker teams if you beat them.
Yeah. And I agree with the. I think Pickford will score in his career. You know,
yeah,
I really do. Get that.
Let him take a penalty. Let him take a penalty.
Get him on free kicks. I reckon
he's took penalties for England. And I mentioned I had
Christmas miracle.
I was on Harry's, where you speak about every team how they've done a 3-hour show, and I was speaking to a Chelsea fan on there, and we was talking about the Pickford against Chelsea when we stayed up, when he made that triple save against Chelsea. And that was probably the best game I've ever seen Jordan Pickford play, that was. And do you know where Everton fans said we would have been in the Championship if it wasn't for Jordan Pickford?
Yeah.
That was a game where you think of that Chelsea game where he made the triple save. He was... Haters will hate Pickford, and it probably isn't even the reason for his football, because when he's on it, he is one of the best. And I said, when England had that penalty shootout and they missed the penalties, Jordan Pickford saved enough penalties for them to have won that penalty shootout and win a trophy. Jordan Pickford actually put them in a situation where if Saka would have scored, England would have won a trophy. So Jordan Pickford did his part. And when I watch Jordan Pickford for England, Paul, I always feel sick because I know half of the England fans hate him and would want him to fail and slate him. And you think when he's in a penalty shootout, the pressure on Jordan Pickford, because you know a lot of people say he shouldn't be in goals for England. And they're waiting for him to fail. Some, I'm saying not all of them, but some I feel are out for him. And if he ever did fail, they jump on him massively. But he never has. And that shows he can handle big pressure, doesn't it, Jordan Pickford?
That's why they don't like it. But England keepers have always had that, to be honest. There's probably a good 8 or 9 goalkeepers between David Seaman finishing and Pickford started. At least that's it. It's probably far more than that. But there shouldn't have been. We had
reminds me,
Paul, for ages, and we had Seaman for ages, and we got Pickford for ages for good reasons. We had loads of shite ones in between. So he's the boss. He is the boss.
That reminds me, I was going to say this to you, Simon. That reminds me, talking about this, is I've watched a lot of Chelsea games this season, and your goalkeeper is shit. And he's the reason that you're not top of the league, because he is shocking. He's the worst goalkeeper. How can you spend all that money and have such a good team, but have that idiot in goals? He's cost you so many points already. You need someone like Jordan Pickford.
In terms of his distribution, shocking. His goalkeeping isn't that bad, but you're right. He's a complete liability with the ball at his feet. But talking about
post,
here's a good one for you, fellas.
Go
on. I've seen people starting to put bets on this. Cole Palmer is going to miss a penalty because he is human, kind of. And who is going to be the first goalkeeper to save a penalty of him? You know,
that's a good point.
Could be
suggesting that at some point, I know it'll be front page news, and everyone will say Palmer's finished, but he's going to miss a penalty, isn't he? So a keeper is going to save a penalty, you know. And
that's a good point. I actually give all the Everton players permission to give away a penalty just for this to happen now. I want us to deliberately give Chelsea a penalty. So Ashley Young would be good for this. So Ashley Young, I'm giving you permission to give Chelsea a penalty and let Jordan Pickford take away Palmer's record and be the man.
Well, he's got the record now.
He's got the record, but I honestly don't think. I think it could go on forever. How good he is at penalties. That Benitez.
We've got Chris Kavanagh as referee tomorrow, so yeah, there's a good chance.
Well, listen, as long as it's not Anthony Taylor, I'm okay with anyone.
Well, you're better than us.
I don't think we like any referees, do we? I think
we do. I've got to get this in because Paws has been asking me about Rory Jennings. What are your thoughts? Apparently, is he your CEO? Is he your spokesperson? I don't really know him.
Rory, got him. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's one of the elite people who talk on behalf of us Chelsea fans. I'll just say no more. We all have opinions, but he just talks for the sake of Rory Jennings, not for the sake of being able to hold a conversation with any knowledge of football, in my opinion. But ignore him. He's just a plank.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Perhaps that's a little too OTT, but can't be doing with it.
I don't even know, but I think I roughly might know who he's on about. But
you know, they have these people, and they have these people, fans from different clubs. But I don't even listen to him. I just see quotes from him. I think I just don't. You know, I know a lot of people at the club. I know a lot of people whose opinions I share, whose opinions I don't share. But you know, at least you can have a rational conversation with them, like we are having today. You know, we support different clubs, but you can have a proper conversation about football because you'd like to think that we know about football.
Exactly.
Yeah, we are awful. I like seeing your what you've got on your travels to your games. What sandwiches he got on him to this game? Who's going to meet at this game? I've got you on X now. I always do keep an eye on you when you travel your away day. Really good fan, Simon. We're all good fans, whether we can get or whether we can't. But Simon puts a lot of shift in, and he is everywhere.
Stella and Nuts tomorrow on the 9:30 train out of Birmingham. Nothing more than that. Yeah.
I seen you when the trains wasn't going as well. Not happy at all. Simon wasn't. He was fuming.
One of my friends calls me angry man shouting at the sky. But anyway, you got to let out.
There'll be plenty of them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right, everybody, that is it. That is the head-to-head. We have got all different scores. Thanks, everyone, for getting involved. We do like you to get involved as much as possible. If you haven't subscribed, we're on like 5,000 or something, so we are getting the support. But if you haven't, do subscribe. Make sure you hit the like on the streams, because when we come off, we like to see whether it's been successful, if it's had plenty of likes and views. We like, to be fair, if it hasn't, we still enjoy the show, but we do like you to get behind us if you can. That is it, people. It is game day tomorrow. Chelsea are getting it. They really are getting it. And Simon thinks that we're getting it. And Paul even thinks that we're winning as well today. So let's do this. Big game tomorrow, everyone. Drop in the banner now. See you later, everyone.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Cheers.
Happy Christmas from Simon. See you later, everyone. And my music went off. Here we go. You're going to have to sing in the end of that. There you go. See you later, everyone.